Okay, let's have a very brief look at what an ion is. Essentially, an ion is an atom or group of atoms that has lost or gained one or more electrons. Now, a lot of people will say it's an atom that has lost or gained electrons. That's one type of ion, but it could actually be a group of atoms, as we will see. Let's have a look at a quick example. Sodium atom. Sodium is number 11 on the periodic table. It has 11 protons. Sodium will also have 11 electrons. Now, because it has the same number of protons as electrons, same number of pluses as minuses, all those charges cancel out, and sodium isn't charged. It doesn't have a charge. Atoms are neutral. But here is sodium's electron arrangement. When sodium reacts, let's say with chlorine, sodium reacts to get 8 outer shell electrons. So this electron on the end actually gets booted out so that it has 8 outer shell electrons. Chlorine's electron arrangement is 2, 8, 7. And chlorine is also neutral because it has 17 protons but also 17 electrons. Okay? Atoms are neutral. They don't have charges. However, chlorine also needs to get 8 outer shell electrons. So the electron that sodium kicked out over here now, chlorine says, you know what? I need one more to make this 8. I will pick you up. So chlorine picks up that electron to get 8 outer shell electrons. Now, in doing this, back to the sodium, what did it actually do? It lost an electron, which means it lost a negative charge. So in losing a negative charge, what's left behind is positive. So sodium started with 11 pluses, but also 11 negatives. But when it lost an electron, it now only had 10 negatives. Those 10 negatives will cancel out 10 of the pluses, leaving 1 plus left over. Chlorine started neutral, but it picked up an electron. It picked up a negative charge, so it becomes Cl minus. These are ions. So as you can see, it's an atom that has lost or gained electrons to get a charge. Sodium lost an electron, became Na+. Chlorine atom gained an electron to become Cl minus. Now, in terms of naming, positive ions, we don't change the name. Sodium becomes the sodium ion. But if there is a negative charge, we finish with IDE. So this is actually not the chlorine atom, it is the chloride. Okay, so the positive ions we leave the same. We have the sodium ion, but the negative ones we change the name to have IDE, chloride. So here are just some random ions. This is the magnesium ion, the calcium ion. But over here we have the fluoride ion. It's negative, so it finishes with IDE. Here is the oxide ion, the nitride ion. Okay, so that's in terms of naming. Now, the other half of the definition was, well, actually, it might not be an atom with a charge, it might be a group of atoms with a charge. And here are some group of atoms with a charge. This is the phosphate ion. We have the nitrate ion, the carbonate ion, the sulfate ion, the ammonium ion. Now, these are still ions. They have a charge, but in this case, it's a group of atoms that have lost or gained electrons. The phosphorus and the 4 oxygens have somewhere along the way picked up 3 electrons. That's why it's a 3 minus. The carbonate, the carbon and the 3 oxygens have picked up 2 electrons, so it's a 2 minus. The ammonium down here, the nitrogen and its 4 hydrogens have actually lost an electron. That's why it's a plus. They lost 1 electron, so we get a 1 plus charge. Now, because these ions are not just single atoms, they're actually groups of atoms. Here we have a sulfur with 4 oxygens. Here we have a nitrogen with 3 oxygens, groups of atoms with a charge. These are called polyatomic. So the other ones that we looked at earlier, like the sodium ion and the fluoride ion, etc., those are monatomic ions, mon meaning 1. So these are monatomic ions, and the negative ones finishes with IDE, so the sodium ion and the fluoride ion. And now we've seen that actually we could have a group of atoms. So poly, meaning many. These are polyatomic, meaning more than one atom.
Don't forget to hit the like button. Yeah. And subscribe too. It's up here. And here's another video.